As we know, you're a movie buff. So, what
जी.
films have made the most impact on you as an actor or a cinema lover, both Indian and international? And also the films you feel every film student should watch.
There's a director called Guy Ritchie, and he's made some amazing films called Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, हाल ही में उन्होंने Sherlock Holmes बनाई, अभी Aladdin बनाई है. लेकिन अगर if you go back to his earlier work, so I was about 14 or 15 when I started watching his films. He was truly the first director that inspired me. Obviously, I think all of Quentin Tarantino's films are very relevant to society even today because we've grown up in an uncertain environment where people are fast thinkers and talkers, and violence is unfortunately around us all the time. These are two directors that mattered a lot to me when I was growing up. But I have to be honest, I used to love watching Hindi films as much. I loved Subhash Ghai's films. I absolutely adored Subhash Ghai's films. I think he is the quintessential Hindi filmmaker. If you look at his work from the 70s, 80s, and the early 90s, I think whether it's Ram Lakhan, Karma, all of them, I think. Anyways, I think Anil Chachu's work is phenomenal. And for any student watching, I think he is a great reference point of being ahead of the times as an actor and the kind of subjects he selected. But yeah, I would have to say Subhash Ghai as a filmmaker. Yash Ji's films, which I started watching a little later, but I would recommend that to everybody. Um, I always feel filmmakers allow even actors to understand, okay, this is how a performance is in a certain director's film. Like Al Pacino will be a certain way when he's directed by Martin Scorsese. Robert De Niro is a certain way when he's directed by Martin Scorsese. That does not mean he's the same way when he's directed by other directors, because the style of a director is visible through an actor's performance also. So uh, I think for most students, eventually, yeah, when you're a student of cinema, ना आप एक जन की या दो जन की नहीं देखते, आप फिल्में देखते हो. And I love having TV shows and Netflix and digital around. लेकिन there is something very pure about the imagination of going to a big screen and watching these films. So when you see a film, even the performance should feel like यार ये बड़े पर्दे की performance. At least that's my upbringing culturally. I have always grown up admiring the fact that you should fill out a screen when you do a scene. And that has to be an ambition for you as an actor, regardless. लोग आपको चाहे फोन पे देखे या इस iPad पे देखे या eventually TV पे या बड़े पर्दे पे, you should be cinematic in the sense you should be larger than life. And I think um, a lot of the names I took, whether it's Subhash Ghai, whether it's Guy Ritchie, they're all cinematic. You know, you want to be part of that world of films. So as actors, for people who are watching as actors, for filmmakers, I think for technicians also, I feel when we use the word cinematic, I think it gets misconstrued where people feel, अच्छा ये तो बड़े पर्दे की बात करें. No, what I feel is, I feel there should be a presence, there should be a telling, there should be an energy in films. जैसे आप एक मूड महसूस कर सकते हैं फिल्म का. जैसे हाल ही में I was watching a film called Social Network again, जो मेरी बहुत ही पसंदीदा फिल्म. I love it because it's very well performed, dialogues बहुत अच्छे हैं. बट वो फिल्म का ना एक मूड है. आप when you're watching the film, you feel like, I've never been to Boston. The film is based in Boston. It's about Mark Zuckerberg, who studied in Boston at the time, and how the director has made you feel कि आप college का हिस्सा हैं. That I feel is cinematic, when people can take you into a world and make you invest in it, whether as actors, directors, technicians. And I think for me that has always been exciting. मैं जब फिल्में देखता हूँ, जब मैं Ocean's 11 देखता हूँ, मुझे लगता है मैं लास वेगास में. मैं जब हेरा फेरी देखता हूँ, मुझे लगता है कि मैं बाबूराव के घर पे हूँ. मैं जब मिस्टर इंडिया देखता हूँ, मुझे लगता है कि कैलेंडर मेरे लिए खाना बनाएगा. सो आई फील फॉर मी, जब फिल्म्स कम अलाइव, नो, आई फील व्हेन यू कैन फील इट. आप घर पे बैठ के या टीवी पे देखो, फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बट व्हेन यू फील इट ना, आई फील दैट इज सिनेमा, दैट इज सेल्यूलॉइड, दैट इज लार्जर देन लाइफ, दैट इज फॉर मी fairy tale-esque. And the most real films can feel like fairy tales if the mood is right. So anybody that watches films will understand what I'm saying. एक mood आता है फिल्मों का, which of course the list is endless, but I would say that my recommendation would be, find films that you enjoy. You don't have to listen to what people say. Eventually, अगर आप comedy के शौकीन हो तो देखिए, हर तरह की comedy देखिए. Watch the Marx Brothers, watch Charlie Chaplin, watch Jackie Chan. Watch Judd Apatow's comedy. Watch he's a fantastic director, writer. Watch stand-up comedians. You can watch Friends. Eventually, you should follow what your impulse is, because that's how people become filmmakers. Or you chase what works for you. If you like all kinds like me, you must watch everything. Like, I mean, I'm personally not a big fan of horror films personally, but हाल ही में there was a film called A Quiet Place, which is amazing. Or eventually it's a story about a mother trying to protect her children, a father trying to protect his children. That's it. But the way it is made, you get scared, and it maybe is relevant to what is happening now also. But yeah, the list is endless, Alvina ji. It's eventually not. I can recommend 2, 3, 4 things, but
Yes, yes.
आप जो भी देखो ना, I feel you should feel like you become part of it. I think that's why we all crave to be part of cinema, because we want to attract people into different stories, and I think any film should make you feel alive at that point.